Some days you put things together and everything goes right. And then other days you prepare and everything, well, does not. The other day, I was out in the woods with my dogs and I was preparing a video for the next day. So the one you got yesterday, done a day in advance. And when I was making it, I ran out of room on my phone. So I deleted a bunch of videos. Well, I forgot that I had gone to the church and made a bunch of videos and put them aside for after the Passion Week. And I deleted every one of them. Yeah, that's worse than the dog eating your homework. It was horrible. I had everything prepared and it just went sideways. Well, the day is, ironically enough, is the day that the disciples went out and prepared the room for the Passover. You know, when they were preparing the room, like these guys grew up Jewish. I mean, they did this every year. Yesterday, Brian was talking about the Passover, and yeah, it was an annual thing to remind them that God had saved them from Egypt and brought them out. Every year they did this. So this was nothing new. So when they're preparing the room, they pretty much have a good idea of what's going on. Now, one of the things about the Passover is that there was 4 glasses, and I'm not going to get into everything, but there was one that wasn't drank because this was the one that represented the coming of the Messiah. And when Jesus said, "I'd take this cup," he took that cup. See, the disciples weren't expecting Jesus to do that. They'd been with him for 3 years. This is probably the 3rd Passover that they'd shared with him. And this is the first time he took this cup. They had prepared, but they weren't prepared. And they weren't prepared for what that cup meant. Because he said, "This cup is a new covenant in my blood." Again, they weren't 100% sure what he was talking about, but they figured it out pretty quick. This was the beginning of the Passion. And they weren't ready for it. They didn't know what they were preparing for. A lot of times God is doing this in our lives. God is preparing us for something. And we might think he's preparing us for one thing, but he's actually preparing us for something else. We might think he's moving in one direction, but actually in reality, he's moving in the opposite direction. Now we can get stuck. We can get stuck and say, no. This is the way I planned it. This is the way I want it to go. Or we can recognize that God's plan is better, and what God has brought you to is the next step. The word says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." I'm not sure if any of you have ever been in the woods. I have been. You've seen me with my dogs. But at night it's a different story because you can't see the forest for the trees. And a light unto your path only goes a few feet. God doesn't promise that he's going to give us the end result message. Like I said, he said to Nehemiah that if I told you everything that I was going to do, you couldn't handle it. But God does lead us. God does get us to prepare, but what we're preparing for is up to him. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you. If you look back and seeing your life has not exactly gone in the direction you wanted it to or you planned, know that that's God's plan for your life. And God's still moving and God's still working. All right. God bless you. Hope this has been encouragement. Have a great day.